2022, beginning of 2023 WIP Parade, and you will not believe how many times I had to restart that video to get the year right, because yeah, can't get it in my brain that it's 2023. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do a quick recap of what I stitched in 2022, including really quickly going over my finishes. We'll go through all my WIPs that I have, and then we'll do a very quick plans for 2023. I think that's the plan anyway. We'll see how we get on. So I've got a giant pile of stuff next to me, so I'll just, yeah, I'm kind of scared it'll fall over at some point, but we'll see. Thank you for coming back if you are a returning viewer, and hello if you are new. Thank you for finding me, and I hope you like what you see. Please feel free to subscribe and stick around. I'm gonna look down quite a lot because I've got everything written down because my memory is terrible. So yeah, we'll see how we end up. Right, let's start with finishes. So I started 2022 on 26 WIPs I had at the start of 2022. Why can I not get years in my head? Right, 2022, 26 WIPs. I finished 18 things. So very quickly, those 18 things were, and I'm going to put pictures up as we go because I don't have them all to hand. First thing was Lucky Nutcracker by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Then we finished the January I don't need your ears on these ones. January Sampler of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. Next finish was Snail House Lily of the Valley, which is by Embroidery. Then I finished Christmas Magic by Little Dove Designs, which was last year's Christmas stitch along, I think. Then we did the February Sampler of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. Then we did, I don't actually know what the name of it is, I call it Always by Hello from Liz Matthews. Then I did Hello Petal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which was a stitch along run by myself and Jo from Belushi Stitches. Then I did the March Sampler of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. Next was another Snail House. It was the Grape Snail House from Embroidery. Then it was the April Sampler of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. As I'm going through these, I feel like I'm cursing myself because this editing is going to take ages, but never mind. Then I did Dino Space, I don't know what it was called, by the Stitch Patterns. Next was Masquerade by Taylor and Cromwell. Then I finished Cryptids by the Witchy Stitcher. Then it was Adventure Awaits by Caterpillar Cross Stitch again, and this was another stitch along that myself and Jo from Belushi Stitches did. Then I did Autumn Alphabet, which I did for my Smalls Exchange, and this is by the Scarlet House. That was for Smalls Exchange for the Floss Friends retreat. Then I finished Love Letters by Modern Folk Embroidery. Then I did the Christmas Wreath, which was another stitch along run by myself and Jo. That was by Durene Jones. And my final finish was the Train Ornament from Dimensions. That's 18 finishes. I'm quite proud of that. I think, yeah, happy with that. Good number. Right, okay, let's move into WIPs. So, as I say, last year we started on 26. A lot of those I've carried forward to this year. So I'm going to start at my oldest WIP and work forwards to my most recent, I think. And then as we go along, I'll have a little chat about plans, but focus more so at the end, if that's okay. I think we'll see how we go. Okay, I feel like I'm uncomfortable already. My back is aching already. This is not a good start. Okay, right. First WIP, oldest WIP, is Winter Wonderland, which is by Historiche Stickmuster or something. This is what it looked like when it's done. And there is no point showing you what it looked like last year because I haven't touched it. I started this on the 1st of December 2020. I think this is my only 2020 WIP. This I'm stitching on 32 count Natural Lucan by Zweigart in the call for DMC, and this is what it looks like at the moment. So apologies in advance because you know by now nothing gets ironed for my videos, and that's where this is up to. So this one, I really want to make a priority for this year. It's my oldest WIP. It's my only 2020 WIP. Let's get it done and out of the way. So that's where it's up to. So it's at 11.5%. So it's got a long way to go. But I really, really like this one. Sarah from the Clumsy Stitcher finished this recently and it's really spurred me on to want to finish it. So yes, that will be an early priority for this year. Let's make a new pile in the hope that doesn't fall over either. Okay, my next WIP is called Botanical Chessboard, and this is by Doodlecraft Designs. This one, I have a picture of what it'll look like. So it's this beautiful blackwork chessboard, which again, I didn't touch last year. Great. So this one I started on the 26th of, oh, just told you a massive lie. That wasn't my only 2020 WIP. This is also a 2020 WIP. Never mind. Right, this one I started on the 26th of December 2020. So Boxing Day 2020. No idea which way around this goes. This is so crinkled, but that's where we're up to. So I was starting to get the boxes done in the hope that I could just go back and fill them in with blackwork. But yeah, that's as far as I got. I feel like the lighting is really not great today. But yeah, that's it. That's my botanical chessboard. Really love it. Would love to get back to this. Probably not going to be a priority for this year. Next one is my Botanical Blackwork Sal by the Steady Thread. So this was a stitch along done by the Steady Thread, who would do a stitch along in blackwork every year. So this was the 2021 stitch along, which I started on the 11th of January 2021. So great intentions, started it like as soon as it started, and then didn't do very much at all. This one, however, I have since touched. So I won't put a picture up of what it'll look like when it's done, because there wasn't really like a set finish because she did so many different layouts and things. But basically, I think it's 49 different designs to go on some fabric somehow. So yes, this one oh, sorry. I will get my head in the game for this, I promise. The chessboard is on 20 count Ada with the called for DMC. Okay, so Botanical Blackwork, I think I'm stitching on, I want to say 18 count, I think it's 18 count Ada, just white Ada. And as I say, I've actually picked this up this year, so I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like last year. And then originally I wasn't planning on doing this year at all, but for some reason I started thinking about it and I was like, oh, I could maybe do like one box a week and that would be an easy finish for this year. And then someone who, I can't remember their name because I didn't check before I filmed this video, they basically said that they were doing this stitch along and they might pick it up for our Salathon, which I'll come back to later. And I was like, yes, this is meant to be. I've been thinking about it, someone else has mentioned it, let's pick it up and get going. So I've actually picked it up this week and I have done 2 boxes and, well, I filled in 2 boxes and done the outline of a few more. So this is where I'm up to. So for some reason I started doing the like shadow boxes, which I'm kind of cursing myself for now because they're annoying to stitch, but I think they'll look really good when it's done. So that's where I'm up to. So it'll essentially just be 7 by 7 squares with these beautiful floral designs in each one. Aiming to do one a week, but might do more, might do less, I don't know, we'll see. But this I am going to make another priority for this year. And I'm stitching this using a sulky thread, which I've never used before. It is a sulky 12 weight blendables in the colour 4082, which looks like this, and it's beautiful. And this is my first time stitching sulky. Is that focusing? I don't know, you can see the colours anyway. Yeah, this is my first time stitching on sulky. and it's really, really nice to stitch with. But obviously I'm only doing it with Blackwork, which is essentially backstitch. So don't know what it's like to cross stitch with, but I would really like to try soon. Really enjoying it. So that is Botanical Blackwork Stitch Along. Priority number 2 for the year. Next up is my Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 Stitch Along. This was called The Fruits of Plenty. It was a stitch along in 2021. I started this on the 15th of January 21. I'll pop a picture of what it looked like when it's done, which is beautiful. And who was I watching it? Loads of people have stitched this, loads of people have finished this. Most recent one I saw was Lindsay from Blushing Pink Stitches. I just watched her WIP Parade last night, and I know she finished it at Christmas, I want to say. So yeah, I love this one. I really, really love it, but it's massive. I'll pop a picture in of where I was last time, this time last year, which I think I'd done. So this was split into 12-month sections, and I think I'd done the 4th month, which was April's month. And this year, this is where I'm up to. So I did 1 month in the whole year last year, which isn't great, but at least I picked it up and did something. So this is how big the fabric will, well, this is how big it'll be when it's finished. So it's absolutely massive. So we're almost halfway, and I'm stitching this on 32 count natural Lucan from Zweigart, and I'm using the colours that Jacob used in the mock-up, which is 932 and 3750, I think, from DMC. So I absolutely love this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Would love to get back to it, but I'm not going to make this a priority for this year. Although now I've looked at it, really want to keep it out to stitch. We'll see. Okay, next, sorry, my face is so itchy today. I feel like my hair is just everywhere. Next up is Disney Princesses by Happy Sloth Designs, Happy Sloth Patterns. I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like when it's done. Now this one I have been working on quite a lot this year. If you watched my last video, you would have seen near enough where this is up to. I've not done too much since my last video. But I'll put a picture in of what it looked like this time last year. So at the start of 2022, and I was 43.68% done. I started this on the 28th of January 2021, if I didn't already say that. And this is where I'm up to now. So it's so close to being finished. This I'm stitching on 16 count white Ada using the call for DMC. So we have 10 princesses completely done. The 11th princess is getting there, just got her hair to do here. Where are we? Here. And then we've just got the last one down here. So this one, again, if you watched my latest video, I was saying that this is kind of like my car project that I keep in the car for stitching when I'm picking my daughter up from school. So it tends to get maybe 15 minutes, 3-ish times a week. So it doesn't get masses of work, but this is going to be a finish this year. Surely can't take me too much longer to finish that. Although a surprising number of stitches left to do. So now I'm on 86%. But even in her hair alone, I'm pretty sure there's like more than 1,000 stitches, which is crazy. Yes, so there's that one. Disney Princesses, love that, definite finish for this year. Okay, my next finish was definitely not, wasn't a finish. My next WIP is another stitch along, although I'm going to start calling this a start along, I think, rather than a stitch along, that I started with Darcy, Stitch by Darcy, Mini Sunflower Cottage by Donna Gelsinger, which is a Heaven and Earth design. I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like when it's done. Loads of people started this with us. Loads of people have already finished this. Cindy from... She's not Georgia Girl Stitching, but she's another Georgia Stitcher, possibly. Oh, I haven't seen upload for a while. Upload, please. I love your videos. Yes, she just finished it very, very recently. I saw her on Instagram. And again, it's really spurred me on to want to pick this up. But again, probably not going to make this a priority for this year. So this I started on the 25th of February 2021. I've not touched this year. Very sadly, I haven't touched this year. So I'm up to the same place as I was last year, which is 10.36%. Still not come out the Q-snap, still looks exactly the same. I still absolutely love it. Will do it eventually. So this I'm stitching on 25 count, easy guide, is what I got, stitching 1/1, full cross. And it's so lovely. And again, looking at it now, I just want to stitch it. And I love this needle minder. These needle minders were made for us by Crafty Emily. They're beautiful. So that is Sunflower Cottage, not touched. Probably not going to get much love this year either, but it will eventually. Okay, next one is Colours of Summer by Stitchrovia. I'll pop a picture in of what this will look like when it's done. So this is a series, this is in a series of 4. Eventually want to get all 4 done. It will be nice to actually get this one done. Not touched this all last year. Sadly, this I started on the 20th of March 21. This I'm stitching on, I think this is 18 count Ada again. Should really make a better note of these. That's all I've done. Really not much at all, barely a start. Once again, I really love these designs and I will do them eventually, just not yet. So yes, Stitchrovia is Emma Congdon. She has some really beautiful patterns. I've got so many of her patterns in my stash. We'll get to them one day, maybe. Next up, I have another modern folk embroidery design, which is called Little Bird Quaker. I think it's called Little Bird Quaker. I'll pop a picture of what it'll look like when it's done. And I absolutely love this sample. I think it's beautiful. Possibly one of my favourite modern folk embroidery pieces. Really, really love it. You wouldn't have thought so though, because again, not touched it this year, but I will eventually. So this I'm stitching on a piece of 20 count Antique Violet Ada by Zweigart. I might as well keep this folded up, there's no point me unfolding it. That's it. That's all I've got. Not touched it. Started on the 24th of April 21. And I'm using this beautiful floss from Classic Colourworks, which is called Baby Blanket. Why can't I not? There we go. So it's these beautiful pastel colours, and I absolutely love this combination. That's the word. I was so pleased with myself when I put this like combination of stuff together. But yeah, just not stitched it yet for some reason. So I'm stitching this 1/1, which looks very dainty. And we will get back to this one day because it's beautiful, but huge. Not going to make it a priority this year, but we'll see. Next one is the Christmas wreath from the Frosted Pumpkin. Now this one, I'll pop a picture of what it looks like when it's done. You'll have seen this a few places before, and I will come back to this one in my proper plans section. I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like all this time last year. So I'd barely started it. I think I'd done like the roof of the house in the middle of the wreath. Started this on the 30th of April 2021. Again, stitching on 32 count natural Lucan. I think I did a mass order on this stuff. And this is where I'm up to now. So I have picked this up and done part 1 of the wreath, which is the whole house in the middle, which is there. And I love it. So this one will be a priority for this year. Don't know if I'm going to finish it, but it'll definitely get some work on it. And again, I'll come back to that later on. So that's by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Did I say that? I don't know. Yeah, I really like that one. Stitching that with the called for DMC 2/2 on the 32 count Lucan. Right, next up is another Heaven and Earth Designs, a Hade pattern. This one is Quick Stitch Blue Butterfly by Ching Cho Queek. I'll pop a picture in of what it looks like when it's done. This one I started with Jemima the Rocking Stitcher. She finished hers ages ago. I'll pop a picture in of where I was this time last year, and I think I was on 22.5%. I think. Remembering where I was last year and looking where I am now, perhaps those numbers aren't right. I don't know. I think I was around 22% anyway. So I have picked this up, but not very much this year. So this was started on the 15th of May 2021, and this is where I am now. So stitching on 25 count, so I got, I think it's antique white, 1/1, full cross, and that's where I am. If I can, there we go, that's better. So you can really see the outline of the whole butterfly now. This is just confetti everywhere, and I am going to make this a kind of priority for this year, because I really want to do another, I really want to finish another full coverage, and this just seems the most likely to be finished. So this is the full coverage one I want to prioritise for this year. We'll see. I was actually talking to Joe last night. Somehow we were on the phone for like 2.5 hours, and I have no idea how that happened. Just chatting stitching, as you do. And yeah, we were both talking about full coverage stitching, and I really miss it because I don't remember the last time I stitched on this. It was ages ago, and I'd really like to get some good work in on the full coverage again. I think it's beautiful. So that's that one. Next up, I'm nearly done on my first page of WIPs. There's a long way to go. Next up we have Our Year, which is by the Historical Sampler Company. This was, was this a stitch along? Pretty sure this was a stitch along. I'm pretty sure I got the kit. Yes, I'm pretty sure this is the kit fabric. Not masses to show. I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like when it's done. Really like it. Just didn't pick it up at all again this year. This I started on the 18th of July 2021. Yes, this I'm stitching on 16 count. I think it's natural Ada. That's where I'm up to. No progress since last year. Teeny tiny start. Not going to be a priority this year. Get to it when we get to it. Okay, next up is Victorian Charm by Dimensions. I do have a picture of this. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I absolutely love this pattern. I think it's beautiful. I don't know why it doesn't call to me to stitch on. Actually, I do know. The fabric is dark and hard to stitch on. I will get back to it one day. Few people have done this. Quite a few people are working on it. Not touched it this year. Started on the 20th of August 21, and this is on 18 count navy Ada. Is that the right way up? Yes, I think that's the right way up. Or is it? I don't know. That way, I don't know. A little bit of stitching. Looks pretty. We'll come back to it eventually. Yeah. Not much else to say on that one. Okay, next one is another Haid. I think this is my last Haid that I have on the go at the moment. And this is Quick Stitch Fairy Monster, which is by Lisa Victoria, I think. I'll pop a picture of what it looks like when it's done. I love this one. I think it's so fun. This one I'm stitching on 25 count Easy Guide fabric from Zweigart. Not done much. And this one I'm actually trying tent stitch on. Haven't picked this up this year at all, and that's where I'm up to. So yeah, trying tent stitch, really enjoying tent stitch on this one. We'll get back to it eventually. This one I started on the 29th of August 2021, and this is at 1.42%, so really a long way to go on that one. Did I say where Blue Butterfly was up to in the end? I don't think I did. 25.93%, so I'd only done like 3% on it since last time, apparently. Okay, next one is the start. I think I started quite a few Christmas stitch alongs around the same time. Finished 2 of them, barely touched these ones. So this one is The Stockings Were Hung by the Tiny Modernist. This I started on the 26th of October 2021. This is what it'll look like when it's done. Haven't touched this year. This is done on 28 count DMC fabric in Air Force green. And if I can wrestle with the fabric, this is where I'm up to. So not done very much at all. And I'm really not sure on this fabric, which I think is why I haven't come back to it, to be honest. I will do eventually because I love the colour of it. It's just the first time I've used DMC fabric, and I must admit it's not my favourite. I can't get that to sit nicely. There we go. So this I'm using the called for threads, which I think are Classic Colourworks, or are they Week Style Works? I don't know what they are. They're nice anyway. But yeah, this fabric, even picking it up now, it just doesn't feel nice. But I will get back to it at some point. I really like the overall design. So yeah, we will get back to it eventually. Next up is Noel from Satsuma Street. I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like when it's done. This one I haven't done that much on. Started on the 23rd of November 2021. And I feel quite torn on this pattern. I do really like it. I love the colours of it. And actually probably once I got going on it, I will enjoy it. But it definitely doesn't call to me to stitch on very often. So this is where I'm up to on this one. Is that the right way up? I don't know. It is now. So this is on, what is this? I think this is a 28 count platinum, maybe, from Zweigart. So that's where we're up to. As I say, the colours are beautiful. One day we'll get back to it. Again, not a priority for this year. Okay, one that is a priority for this year is the next one, which is Dinosaur Forest by Al Forest Embroidery. I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like when it's done. And if you saw my last video, you will have seen my progress on this already from last year. But I'll pop a picture of where I was this time last year-ish, last WIP Parade anyway. This one I started on the 1st of December 2021. I think I'd done about a third last year. So I picked this one back up for Dinosaur December Sal this year, and this is where I'm up to. So it looks finished, but it isn't, because there's still a huge border left to do. And I absolutely love this. So this one is definitely a priority for this year. It's really, really calling to me at the moment, and I really kind of want to pick it back up very soon. But we'll see. I don't know whether to do it soon or leave it till December for Dinosaur December again. Not sure. This one I'm stitching with all the called for stuff that came in the kit. So it's a 32 count Belfast linen, and it's the called for Al Forest variegated threads, which I think you can probably see. There. Absolutely love it. Definitely will be a finish this year. Not sure whether start of the year or end of the year, but one way or the other, it will be done this year. Okay, next dinosaur one, which I also started for Dinosaur December 2021. Started this on the 23rd of December. And these are the dinosaur ornaments, which are in Cross Stitcher December 21. I was very on the ball with this. By Durene Jones. They look like this, which are super cute. So I started the first one, haven't picked this up this year, so that's where I'm up to, which is this one here, I think. So that's where I'm up to. Not much done. I'll get to it one day. These I'm stitching on, I think it's a 16 count, just like a, I think it's called Pewter Grey Ada from Zweigart, just with the call for DMC, I think. Okay, next up is my final 2021 start, which is Nutcracker Village by Cottage Needleworks. So this is this was released in 11 parts, I want to say, which I have them all. I'm going to stitch them all on one big piece. So if I can find a picture of what it looks like that, I'll pop it in here. I have picked this up a little bit, but barely. So I'll pop a picture in of where I was last year. And this is where I am now, if I can wrestle the fabric into shape. There we go. So all I've added is, pretty sure this tree wasn't here last year. So that's where I'm up to. So this I'm stitching on, I think it's a 28 count. No, it's not. It's a 32 count raw silver linen. And it's sparkly and beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. But it's lovely. This is going to be massive when it's done, but will be beautiful, I hope. Not at the moment a priority for next year, but we'll see, because it is very pretty. And that's using the called for, again, I think they are mainly classic Colourworks, if I remember correctly. Okay, that one I started on Christmas Eve, to the 24th of December 2021. Okay, moving into 2022. So had I started this next one for my last WIP Parade? Can't remember. Anyway, it's The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. Everyone's seen this a million times. Is everyone stitching this? Is anyone not stitching this? Yes, The Fox. I love this. I love the whole series. As the year went on, every single release I just loved. There was one that I was a little bit questionable on, which is the bat, but the more I look at it, the more I quite like it. So yeah, these will all be stitched eventually, one day, don't know when. So The Fox. This I'm stitching on Picture This plus 32 count Mirage fabric. If I had started this last year, I'll pop a picture in of where I was, but I can't remember if I did or not. Anyway, this is where I am now. I love this fabric, but I really struggled to stitch on it. But yeah, that's where I'm up to. Love it. Would love to get a little bit done on this year, but I'm not going to make it a priority. I started this on the 2nd of January last year. I love it. I love seeing everyone's finishes. I love seeing, because my plan is to stitch three, so in case you didn't know, there is 12 releases to this series, and they are seasonal releases. So this is part of the winter trio, and the winter trio were done on one fabric, the spring are on a different fabric, summer, different fabric, or yeah, you get the idea. That was one way of doing it, or you could stitch it all on one piece of fabric. There's various, like, I don't think anyone's finished the full thing. If you have, I'd love to see it. But yeah, even just seeing people's progress on how they are doing it, like on the big pieces, it just looks incredible. Absolutely love it. So yeah, that's The Fox. One day we'll get back to it. Right, next one is Under the Sea by Lakeside Needlecraft. Well, it's by Durene Jones, and it was originally released as a stitch along by Lakeside Needlecraft. I'll pop a picture in of what it'll look like when it's done. So this one I started on the 13th of January 2022, and I started this as a stitch along with Jo. The plan on this was to do a 12-month stitch along, because there's like 12 parts to the pattern. We were going to do one part a month and then kind of come back to all the bits in between and the back stitch and everything. Kelly from Animal Instincts joined us on this, which was really lovely. They have both now finished it. I am way behind. However, this is a priority for this year. I've been stitching on this for our Salathon 2023. Again, I'll come back to that later. And this is where I'm up to at the moment. So I'm stitching this on a 36 count fabric by Lakeside Needlecraft. I think it was especially for this piece, and I'm pretty sure it is also called Under the Sea. Stitching with the call for DMC, and I love it. So, as I said, we were originally stitching this sort of one part a month. So this was January, February, March, April. Seahorses were May, then June. However, because I'm completely off, obviously the stitch along has now finished and I have not finished. This turtle down here was much easier to get to counting wise than going from the jellyfish across to, is it a mermaid that's here? I think it's a mermaid. So I've just gone a bit off piste and gone down instead. So I'm currently working on this turtle. Yeah, this one's going to be a priority for this year. Love to get this finished. Still got a long way to go. I'm currently on 43.52%. So almost halfway, but there is an awful lot of backstitch to do once I've finished. So we'll see. It'll be done eventually. Really, really like that one. Can't wait to have that finished. Next up is the Flowering Heart by Modern Folk Embroidery. I'll pop a picture in of what it looks like when it's finished. This one I started on the 11th of February 2022. Not got very far. I like it. For some reason this is still in its hoop. And this is where we're up to. So I'm stitching this on a 16 count fabric from Claire Brown cross stitch, Claire Brown Ada, whatever she is, Claire Brown, called Confetti. And I'm stitching this using DMC 3834. So I'm excited to see what this will look like when it's done. This I would like to finish this year. It's only small. Don't see why it can't be done when I'm just looking for sort of like a quick-ish finish. So yeah, that's that one. Love it. Next up is another Owl Forest embroidery piece. This is Golden Bees. I'll pop a picture in of what it looks like when it's done. This one I started on the 12th of March 2022. Not masses done. I feel like I started this with someone. It might have been more, I think it was Morgan from the Honeybee Stitcher. Don't know which way around this goes. I have one bee done and a little tiny bit of foliage of some kind. The only problem with keeping these folded up, you can't like see them properly. There we go. Is that the right way or is it that way? I don't know, but there's a bee. This I got this as a kit, so this is 32 count Belfast linen. I don't know what the colour is, it just came with the kit. And again, it's using the variegated Owl Forest threads, if you can see in that at all. Love this one. I just love all Owl Forest designs. I think they're all beautiful. We'll get to it eventually. Next up is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. I just love Long Dog Samplers. I think there's so many beautiful designs. I really love watching Shiloh from X-Stitch MD. She's done a few of them. Emily from Crafty Emily, she's done a few of them. And I just love seeing them stitched up. They look beautiful. I have so many of them on my wish list. But this just seemed like the one to start with. Yeah, I really want to start some more. But we'll limit ourselves to this one for now. So yes, Pandemic. Everyone's seen what this looks like when it's done, but I'll put it in anyway. I have the tiniest start on this, which I started on the 23rd of March. And I'm doing this on 20 count vintage mocha from Zweigart. I'm just going to wrestle this fabric into some kind of order so you can see it. That's it. That's as far as I got, which is tiny. And 0.35%, 0.35%, that is it. Love to get some more progress on this, but probably not this year. This I'm stitching with a Mrs. Sailor Silk, which is this one here, which is called Midnight, and it's beautiful. It's the nicest feeling thread I've ever used, and I just love it. The colours in it are beautiful. I feel like the camera just doesn't do Mrs. Sailor Silk's justice at all. They're just stunning, and the amount of colours that are in them are just beautiful. So that's Pandemic. long way to go. That'll probably be finished in about 20 years, maybe, but I'll get there eventually. Okay, next page. We're nearly there. There's really not too many more to go. Next one is a Bothy Threads kit, Rendale Designs. It's called Damsels and Dragonflies. No, it's not. It's called Damsels and Dragons. This is what it'll look like when it's done. So this is the first Bothy Threads kit that I picked up, and I love it. I mainly picked it up because my daughter's name is Iris, and these are beautiful iris flowers with a cute little frog and the gorgeous dragonfly up there. Really love this one. Love to get this one done for her. Didn't get very far at all this year. I actually started this on her birthday, the 31st of March, and I'm just doing this on exactly what it came with in the kit. It's barely started. I have no idea what way round it is. Let's go with that way. So I literally have this tiny bit done here. So yeah, it's the 14 count speckly fabric, which someone informed me the other day that you can now get as even weave, I believe. I don't know how that works. I don't know if you have to buy it separately, but yeah, that's good to know. So that's that one. Not much done at all. We'll get to one day. Okay, I have itchy nose again. Right, Snail House Watermelon is my next one. This is my fifth snail house that I am stitching. These are by my words are going, I'm so tired. This is by Owl Forest Embroidery. I will pop a picture in of what it looks like when it's done. This I'm stitching as the kit, as it came in the kit, which is 32 count Belfast linen using the called for Owl Forest threads, and I started this on the 28th of May 2022, and this is where I'm up to. So this one, myself and Joe were doing Snail House Saturdays, where we were stitching on the snail houses every Saturday. We've both fallen off the bandwagon with that one, but I think we're both quite keen to get back to it quite soon. So hopefully this one should definitely be finished this year. This is going to be a priority for this year. Love that one. Next up is Supernatural by the Witchy Stitcher. So as I spoke about at the beginning, I finished Cryptids by the Witchy Stitcher last year. And this was the next sort of companion piece to that. I started this on the 2nd of June 2022, stitching this on the same as I stitched Cryptids on, which is 20 count vintage mocha by Zweigart, that's it. And this is where I'm up to. So I started out really well. I feel like I was keeping up at first, and then yeah, completely fell off. So this I would like to prioritize this year. I would like to get this one done. We'll see how we go. There is there 16? I think there's 16 creatures in total to go on here. So obviously a long way to go, but hopefully that'll be a finish this year. We'll see. I feel like that's probably the one I'm most unsure of now. At the, like 2 weeks ago, I would have said this is a definite for this year. Now I'm not sure. We'll see. Hopefully finish this year though. Next up, 3 left. We're nearly there. Next up is the May Sampler of the Month by Cottage Needleworks. So as you will have seen at the start of the video, I showed 4 that I've already finished. This is the 5th one in the series, which is the May one. And this is where I'm up to. So tiny start. This is on 32 count Natural Lucan by Zweigart, stitched with the called for threads. Again, I think it's Classic Colourworks. So long way to go on this, but actually once I get going on it, they're really quick to finish. So I definitely want to finish this one this year, if not some more in this series. But hopefully that should be a finish by the end of the year. Okay. Next up is Needleworker by Little House Needlework. Oh, did I show you what that one looked like when it's finished? If I didn't, there is. This might be one of my favourite sampler of the months, I think. Okay, anyway, Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. This is what it'll look like when it's done. and I started this one on the 29th of October 2022. Started this one with Jo from Belushi Stitches, and I love this. I think it's beautiful. And this is where I'm up to. I think I only spent a day on this so far, but that's where I am in this. I think this is 32 count Lucan again. I don't know how much of this fabric I have, but I love it apparently. Yeah, using the called for Classic Colourworks. I love it. Probably wouldn't actually take too long to finish if I just sat down and got on with it. I'm not going to make it priority this year, but it wouldn't surprise me if this one is something I work on this year. And my final one, which is technically a 2023 start, but we'll throw it in anyway, just so we're fully up to date. This one I started on New Year's Day this year, so the 1st of January 2023. And this is Bothy Threads, Rendale Designs, The Meadow. And this, I'm stitching for my mum. It's beautiful. I love this pattern. I haven't stitched this since New Year's Day, but here's my start on it. So not much done. Again, this came with the, this is the kit. Is that the right way around? Don't know. Came with the kit, so it's 14 count. It's the speckled Ada that comes with all the Rendale Designs Bothy Threads kits. Just the kit thread as well. So that is all my WIPs, which brings me to 29 active WIPs. So that's not too bad. I've managed to keep it under 30 just, so I'm quite pleased with that. So yes, so 26 we started with, we finished 18 things, started 20, although technically 21 if I count my New Year New Start. So 21 starts up to 29. That's not bad. I'm pleased with that. So from what I've been through so far, I think I've prioritized 11, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 12. I've prioritized 12 things that I'd like to get done this year, I think. We'll see. Some of them are quite big. I don't know. That's my rough plan of what I'd like to tackle of my current WIPs. A brief plan of the year. Myself and Jo have been finalising our stitch-alongs plan for the year. Here is what our current year is looking like. Subject to change, but I think we're quite confident with what we've put in place so far. So, January, as you will know if you already watched my last video and if you've seen Jo's Instagram or Jo's videos, we are doing Salathon 2023 in January. So that is finishing any stitch-alongs, or at least working on any stitch-alongs that you have outstanding and you just want to get off your WIP list. So it doesn't have to be one of our stitch-alongs, it can be anything. Anything you've started as a stitch-along that you just want to get cracking with and get gone, get it off your WIP list. So for Salathon 2023, I originally planned to stitch on Under the Sea and Supernatural. And I had Snail House Saturday out, well, my Snail House out to stitch, possibly. So far, I have been stitching on Under the Sea. That's come along quite well. In fact, I've already done, I made my notes for my WIP Parade at the start of January when I was going to film. It didn't quite happen, I'm like 2 weeks later now. But I originally had written down 29% and I'm already up to 43. So that's coming along quite nicely this month so far. I'm going to keep going on that because I'm really enjoying it. And obviously the other project that I've had out for my stitch along for my Salathon is the Botanical Blackwork piece. So yeah, we'll see. Those two seem to be my new priorities for Salathon, rather than Supernatural, but we'll see. I'm not gonna push myself just to work on something because it needs to be done. Yeah, I was having this chat with Jo last night. I'm really learning about what I like stitching and how I like stitching. And I feel like I've become much more of a monogamous stitcher. Like clearly not monogamous, clearly not monogamous fully because I have 29 WIPs on the go, but I'm really enjoying pulling something out and working on it until it's finished, or like a good section of it's finished. So yeah, that's my plan for Salathon. Please feel free to join us using the hashtag Salathon2023. A few people have joined in with us, and it's really, really lovely to see what people are stitching for it and how much progress they're making. So that's really good fun. So that's January. February to April, I should have brought this down with me. It's upstairs. Never mind. We are planning on stitching Spring Hair, which is by, I want to say La Di Da, I think it's by. Pop a picture in of what it'll look like. Love this design. So this one we're planning on starting in February, stitching on it for 3 months. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it yet. I don't know if we're going to split it up into 3 bits, or we're just going to start it in February and finish it in April. I don't know. We were chatting about hashtags last night, and I think following on from our Hello Petal stitch along from last year, I think we're going to go with Hello Hair, nice spring in your step. I think. We'll see. Look out for that hashtag anyway. Yes, so that is our sort of spring plans to stitch on that. Really shouldn't take very long at all. It's only quite a small pattern, and also a really nice sort of stash buster pattern. I'm not using any of the called for fabric or threads for this one. I'm going to pull from stash. I think I've pulled out what I want to use, but it may change. So I won't share that just yet. We'll see. So that's spring plans. Sorry, I'm really uncomfortable down here now. Then it is May, and we are going to do Mermania is the plan. So stitching all May on any mermaid related patterns. Yes, that's my plan. Jo wants to start something every weekend, something new every weekend of May, like a new mermaid pattern every weekend. I am not sure whether I'm going to commit to that yet, but I will definitely stitch on some mermaid patterns. And I think my main priority is going to be, I think it's called Little Minnow, My Little Minnow by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I'll pop a picture in of what that looks like. So that is May. Then going into June, July and August, we think we are going to stitch, I don't know what this is called, but I'm going to call it Quiet Please. I'll pop a picture in of what it looked like when it's done. And this is a free pattern from somewhere that I will link down below because I can't remember where it's from. But that is our plan for June, July and August. Probably something like Quiet Please Sal. We'll see near at the time. Again, good stash busting pattern because you could do this on any fabric with any threads whatsoever. Yes, and it's free, so no excuses for not joining in on that one. Okay, then after that takes us up to August. Then from September onwards, we're working on the name for this, but we're going to do some kind of wreath-a-thon, Christmas wreath-a-thon. In fact, not even Christmas wreath, it can be any wreath. So last year we did the Christmas wreath, the orange Christmas wreath by Durene Jones. I have the Frosted Pumpkin Christmas wreath started in my WIP list. Jo, did she start it in the end? I'm going to say she did. She is doing the Halloween wreath from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I'll pop a picture in of what that looks like. But there is also tons of other Christmas wreaths out there. So any, again, not necessarily Christmas, all wreaths. So any kind of wreath, please join us to stitch from September for the rest of the year. So wreath-a-thon, yes, stitch all the wreaths for the end of the year. That's the plan for that one. And then finally finishing the year with back onto Dinosaur December. Again, we'll see whether I've actually finished Dinosaur Forest before then, or whether I pull it back out then. Not sure yet. We'll see. So that is our rough plan for the year. I have no idea how much of that we will stick to. We'll wait and see. Just wanted to quickly mention as well, I think I mentioned it in my last video, myself and Jo have started a Facebook group and it is called Sal Queens and Friends. There's a couple of questions. You can just search for it on Facebook. There's a couple of questions to answer to get in, but we're not too fussy. Like, please answer the questions just so we make sure you are a real person and not strange. But we'll let you in, and we're just sharing all of our pictures of our stitch alongs that we've done. And so far, it's a really lovely space. So I'd like you to come and join us in there if you would like to. Other than that, one thing I did want to mention for this year is books, because I love books. I love reading. I have done since I was teeny tiny. In fact, my favourite, like, you know, kids have those toys that they don't let go of and they carry them everywhere with them. Mine was a book. So yeah, always loved reading. Used to read absolutely tons. Then children came along and yeah, it wasn't like a major, like, I think I was just too tired, to be honest. So I have not read as much the last few years as I used to, but I'm really trying to make it back to a priority this year because I love it and I miss it. So I am on Goodreads. I will pop my Goodreads in the description box below. I've just added Morgan from Honeybee Stitcher on Goodreads, and it's so nice seeing like another world of people that you watch on here. So not only do you get to see their stitching, but you get to see their like reading and what they're reading and stuff as well, which is lovely. So I'll put my Goodreads down below, and I might start popping in a little bit at the end of videos if I've read anything good, because some people seem to do that and some people seem to really like that. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, is that everything? I feel like I've just about managed to keep this under an hour, so let's wrap this up before it hits the hour mark. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you this time next year to see how much I've actually got done. And yes, thank you for watching. Happy stitching. Join the Facebook group. Add me on Goodreads. Keep watching. Yes. Happy 2023. Goodbye.